right, YouTube. Just taking a minute here to go over some of the important news items of the day. And one of the most important things, I think, is this information that we have today from Cambridge. Let's see if I can adjust this camera a little bit. Cambridge Analytica, all in the news. And, of course, they're more than one thing. They're a slippery beast, a multi-headed hydra. And they're involved with Facebook, they're involved with the Trump campaign, they're probably involved with Russians on some level. Oh, the Ukraine, they're definitely involved there. There's a story out that they're on video, literally claiming that they got Ukrainian hookers to try to get politicians in trouble. So that's their thing. And this really puts the left, the entire insanity of the left, in a bad position, because just recently they had to act like James O'Keefe was really a bad guy for taping people and not letting them know and doing undercover videos, and now they have this very important one that we all need to see that's from something that has something to do with Trump for once. So they're going to have to accept this. They're making a big deal out of it. You know, the media is just, freaking out to the point where if we look on the Drudge Report right now, we can see that it's even causing Facebook's stocks to slip. Now, they were slipping already because a lot of people like myself, we just don't even bother anymore. I just use it to message my daughter and such, and get pictures of my grandson, things like that, send pictures to my mom and dad. So it's not a big deal to me anymore, and to many people. I mean, their user time online is just way, way down, because most people realize at this point that they're just a tool of the deep state. So, continuing on with this, I just want to go through a few things, and I'm claiming fair use on this, by the way, because it's important. I mean, some of these things are so unique and unusual, I couldn't possibly expect you to believe them if, if I didn't provide some kind of proof.
Elections around the world are being fought less and less on doorsteps and hustings.
Never shall we lose our faith and courage, and never shall we fail in exertion and resolve.
And more on screens and social media. It's an online information war where often unseen hands harvest your personal data, tapping into your hopes and fears for the greatest political yield. And one British company is at the very heart of it. They've worked under the radar in elections in Nigeria, Kenya, the Czech Republic, India and Argentina. But they are best known for their work in America.
There can be no prosperity without law and order.
That company is Cambridge Analytica.
Is that immediately recording?
Yeah. Okay, and just to switch gears here a little bit, onto Twitter, and we have this that got retweeted by Julian Assange, and it's a story about Cambridge Analytica and how they got a major contract from the State Department last year to try to, counter the propaganda of the Russians and the Chinese. So just wasting more and more money. Like, look, man, people, they have absolutely no faith in the American people. I mean, you've heard Hillary Clinton talking recently. We're all idiots. So, they're constantly trying to spend money to try to influence us, even through these overseas companies. And the main thing I would like to get across here to you is something that's fundamentally important for all Americans to understand. The real power behind American politics, the most influential country, financially, politically and socially and culturally, is the UK. It's not Israel, it's not Saudi Arabia, it's not Russia, although those guys try their hardest too. It's the UK. It always has been, always will be. They control the central banks. They control major media here in the United States and in the UK. Who owns Fox News? Rupert Murdoch. Where's he from? UK. I could go on, but and continue to prove this to you. You liberals are going to have to understand the real information is right in front of your face. You don't want to accept it. That's why all this is good about Trump. He's putting the sunshine in this, whether he wants to or not. Some of these things are not exactly great, but it doesn't make any difference. People need to understand who's really controlling things. So here they are. Here's a receipt, actually, or basically proof of their contracts. And the guy goes on and shows you his sourcing for all this. Washington Post, NBC News, others. So the thing about it is it's so much deeper than just this. It's not that they only do this. Let's take a look.
After a 4-month undercover investigation, tonight a glimpse into how they really operate. Prepared, it seems, to ruin their clients' opponents through handouts and honey traps.
Send some girls around to Candy's house.
Through sex, secrets and spies.
I know people who used to work for MI5, MI6.
Old-style tactics wedded to the new.
You just put information into the bloodstream, to the internet, and then watch it grow.
Whether the true backdrop or just bravado.
You take care, my friend.
This is Cambridge Analytica Uncovered.
Great pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Huh?
Till next time.
Goodbye, gentlemen. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to speak to you about the evolution taking place in marketing and communications.
This is Cambridge Analytica's boss, Alexander Nix. He's become a digital celebrity, headlining last year's Online Marketing Rockstars Festival. Fame followed after being hired by the Trump campaign. Steve Bannon, then a key Trump advisor, had been a vice president of Cambridge Analytica, a de facto founding father.
Recently,
and the company would soon be feted in some quarters as the digital gurus behind that shock victory.
But we were able to use data to identify that there was very large quantities of persuadable voters there that could be influenced to vote for the Trump campaign.
From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first.
Political campaigns have changed. An election.
It just goes on and on. But here it is. The Democrats, one of Obama's people who are claiming that they were on their side. Facebook knowingly allowed them to mine massive amounts of Facebook data, more than he would have allowed someone else because they were supportive of the campaign. He's talking about Cambridge Analytica, so apparently the Democrats used them too. Probably not in that Guardian story we're looking at from the UK, but whatever. On Sunday, in a tweet thread, Carol Davidson, former director of integration and media analytics for the Obama for Americans, said 2012 campaign led Facebook to suck out the whole social graph and target potential voters. They would then use those data to do things like append their email lists. So, myself, I don't believe any of this has any effect, but if it does, then you need to wake up. We're being manipulated by people in the UK far more. They have far more money they spend here. It's far more effective. I mean, the Russians don't even speak our language, all right? The Ukrainians or whoever they hire, they don't have not even English speakers. They don't have nearly the influence financially that people in the UK do or in the media. So I want you to remember that the Rothschilds control the central banks. The Rothschilds are English. One of the things I want to do to prove this to you is show you this from a letter written to Lord Rothschild from another member of Parliament declaring that the UK is fully supportive of Israel being formed as a country. This was back in 1917, and this was the first thing that started immigration to Israel. One of the major problems we have had in the Mideast, whether you agree with, whether it should be there or not. If you're a hardcore Christian, of course you think it should be there. But what I'm saying is, it came from this Balfour Agreement. So, obviously they control the central banks. They control a lot of UK politics. They're behind the politicians that get elected there and the foreign policies that are made. This is what globalism is. The City of London is a corporation. It's the real, what you think is London is not London. The real City of London is literally the name of a corporation, and it has specific geographic boundaries within Greater London metropolitan area. And it is controlled by the central banks and the Rothschilds. You can look all this up for yourself. So that's just an effort to show you, and it's not anything to do with them being Jewish. It's just the facts. They're international bankers. They just use the UK because that's where they're from and that's where they live, and they have the most influence there. And they spend a lot of money, and foreign policies are constructed from there that are directed at the United States and their citizens. And here is one foreign policy that people need to wake up to, and that is that the GCHQ and other, people that, we want to use to get information on Americans is constantly used. They'll call up these people, or these people will offer them some information about Trump or somebody or anybody, and that way they can spy on Americans without taking any risk of violating the Constitution, because ostensibly these foreigners are doing it. Then they happen to share it with them because they share everything, you see. And don't forget, President Obama opened up sharing between the 17 agencies as he was going out of office, so that even more of it could be shared, because they were afraid Trump would cover all this up. Well, there's no covering up, okay? They're ones that want to investigate it. Let's investigate. So if you go Google this thing, this is the crazy thing. You'll have 2 pages of denials in the Google from GCHQ and all the other media partners, the Mockingbird Press. And then they also write the same article in the same paper. They were the first to spot it. Well, so what? Oh, because they were the first to spot it, they told the CIA and the NSA, and they gave them information. This is what went on, okay, since 2015. So there's no reason they should not have everything they need to put Trump out of office if they got anything, and they don't. All they want to do is continue this out until the midterms and hope to take back political power so they can impeach him. That is their solid goal right now. They tried everything else. They tried, getting the voters to stop. They tried rigging the polls. They tried rigging the Electoral College. They tried shaming the Electoral College. They tried interfering in the certification of the election in the Congress. And they have tried numerous times to call him insane and get to invoke the 25th Amendment and many other ploys. Stop him from going into stupid inauguration. Please. That's what went on. People need to admit it. That's probably funded by the British too. Who knows? That's what I'm telling you is, yes, social media is being used. Yes, it is foreign countries. But no, it's not just Russia, okay? Russia doesn't even have enough money to do this on a massive scale. The UK, you can Google this. I should have pulled the article up to show you, but you can Google it. The UK has large cores of people that are nothing but trolls on the internet with military uniforms on. I shit you not. Go look it up, okay? That was before the election this was revealed, And that's why people are migrating off of Facebook. That's the whole thing, in a nutshell, is no matter what they're trying, no matter how much censorship they try, Facebook has got a freak out going on, okay? Because people are waking up. And they realize that Facebook is just a tool. It's the front end of a massive spy application that is used to track and manipulate every American citizen and other citizens in other countries. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Peace.